Good morning, my friends. I am the shadow teacher. Got a nice perking pot of coffee behind me. That's what you hear in the background. And yesterday, I was at the gym and listening to a truther podcast, a good podcast, but I found it quite ironic. This particular podcast was on this individual's journey of health and fitness. And the sponsorship to this podcast on that particular day happened to be McDonald's, and also a sponsorship about putting something else in your body, which I can't say on this platform, but you probably know what I'm implying. And the irony was not lost on me. So I figured I would make a video called Garbage In, Garbage Out. And when we're looking at, let's look at that first example of the physical level of your body. When you eat fast food, if your diet is mostly fast food, many of you may have watched that documentary, Super Size Me, about the guy who ate nothing but McDonald's for 30 days. But what you'll notice, or what I've noticed in a time in my life when a good bit of my diet consisted of processed foods, was my mood was consistently bad. My energy was always low. Concentration was a big challenge. So when I was putting this garbage in my body, it was severely limiting my capacity to create in the world in a meaningful way. And let's extend garbage in, garbage out to entertainment. Hollywood entertainment. There are plenty of movies that I have loved that had made a great impact on my life and how I see the world and how I engage with the world. And the great pieces of art. Big fan of the movie Empire Strikes Back. Might be my favorite movie of all times. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Clockwork Orange. Name a few. But anyway, I see a lot of modern day movies that are very formulaic and they're overstimulating and they don't really offer much value. They have the same type of consistency on the energetic level as that of fast food. Remember my ex-girlfriend, when we would go to a theater, and I take full responsibility of this. I was big into comic books as a kid, and I would go out and see like every comic book movie. Though honestly, a lot of them were just not that fucking good. And she would indulge me in this and go with me, but she would always say, like, I really just don't enjoy these movies. I just feel overstimulated in the theater. There's too much sound, too much light. I'm disoriented when I come out. And honestly, she was right. Too much stimulation, not enough substance, tends to be the going trend of what Hollywood puts out these days. What's the consistency of entertainment. And entertainment, again, is affecting you in a different way. It's programming your mind. You're taking in all these vibrations of light and sound on a subtle way. And your brain is interfacing with this, and it's transforming who you are and how you engage with the world and your capacity to engage meaningfully in the world. Let's look at another form of garbage, social media. The quick hits of instant information that people get on social media. What value does this offer through the lens of what you're able to create as a sovereign creative being? Is this contributing to your capacity to create, or does it harvest a being that's simply going to only be able to regurgitate, just to regurgitate a meme, regurgitate something or a behavior pattern that you see other people doing, people who have lots of likes and followers. What does this form of garbage in or stuff in, I think it's garbage. You might have a different opinion. What does this have an effect on as far as your own being and your ability to co-create? And again, if your highest value is simply being a consumer, being someone who is just wanting to fit in with what society tells you is what you're supposed to do, supposed to be, if that is your highest value, then this video and my channel is not for you. But if you're someone who is truly interested in exploring their own potential and their own creative potential and ability to co-create and express themselves in the world and contribute to the life process, then you got to look at these things. You have to look at what you are taking in, the food you're taking in, the information you're taking in, the entertainment you're taking in. Even go into your house. There are plenty of people who now will advocate for turning off electronics in the house for EMF pollution. Again, these subtle types of pollution that will affect the way you engage in the world. So I put this out there not to judge you if you are living in high toxicity, whether it be toxic food, toxic entertainment, toxic information, media input, toxic home environment, whatever it may be. I'll throw another thing, relationships, people you're around. If the people you're around are always negative, they're always dramatic and petty, how's that going to affect you if you value living up to your highest potential, expressing your highest good in the world? What value do these people offer to your life? And again, in conclusion, it's not to judge you, but just some things to think about. Now, on the flip side of this, there are pieces of toxicity that I enjoy from time to time. But the difference is I'm aware of the effect that some of these types of foods may have on my body, or types of entertainment or information it's going to have on me. So when I go into them, I'm going in through a conscious lens, and I am accepting the consequences. And I'm also calculating the risks. I'm going in, if I eat a pizza or something for the day, which is not a staple in my diet, but if I feel like I'm going to do that, I'm very aware of what I have to do that day, what effect it's going to have, what my food intake is for the rest of the week, and my goals at that time, and if I have to accomplish something that's going to require a lot of my attention, and I eat a few slices of pizza, I know I'm not going to be at my best. So I'm aware of, if I choose that type of behavior, the circumstances. At the same time, I'm choosing it. I don't need it. I don't have to have it. Something that I do, if I enjoy food and get a little pleasure hit from it every now and then, it's something that is my choice. And that's the difference between being in a state of sovereignty as opposed to a place of addiction. That's why I don't like to use the terminology cheat meal, because that's implying that you're cheating on something and kind of implying that you're addicted at the same time. If I watch a superhero movie, I'll choose to go into that. And honestly, the ones that are made these days, I usually can't sit through the whole thing, so I usually will not go to the theater to do that. But I'm consciously choosing to do that with my time. In fact, I use these movies for a different reason. I actually use them for creative output because I'm looking at them not through the lens of pleasure, but through a critical lens. I analyze the messages that are going on and the intent behind what's just simply presented as entertainment. That being said, I'm going long right now. Be strong, be well, be healthy, and I'll see you on the other side, my friends.